This question here comes in from Eugenio from over on Patreon. He asks, "Hey Brian, I've recently discovered the joys of static page generators. My current favorite is Pelican. I find them much more pleasant to use than any of the CMSs full of PHP that requires being connected to a database. I know you code your awesome site directly in HTML. Yes, I do. But have you ever considered using a static page generator? Which one? Cheers, Eugenio. Eugenio, it's a fantastic question. So yes, actually, I used to have my website using a static page generator. And for those of you who don't know what that is, here's the quick rundown. A static page generator is basically an application that takes a markdown document or something else, runs it through a processor, applies some sort of a template to it, and spits out a static set of web pages that can then either be manually or automatically uploaded into place on your web server. The benefits of this are that all your pages, all the generation is done once, so A, you don't have to rely on PHP or Ruby or something else on the server side doing generation of the page regularly, which, slows things down. And B, you don't have to have a database that you're connecting to, which improves the site security because there's no database to hack into. It improves the speed of loading your web page because there's no database to query and then populate the page that you then return to the browser with the data from the database, like in Drupal or WordPress or any of those sorts of sites. You just have a static web page, but you still get some of the benefits of having a content management system, a CMS in place, because you can have on your site just a series of markdown documents that is the various pages and articles on your site. So what I used to have was a fairly simple website that with blog and RSS feed and everything that I ran through a static site generator called Hugo, Hugo, that took the markdown, applied a very simple HTML sort of site template to it, and then spit out the entire website. And then I could go and upload and just basically overwrite it over the existing page. And that could be pretty easily automated because all the tools are all command line tools. So you can automate it really simply. I love this approach. And there's a lot of big pages out there that utilize similar approaches, and I think it is absolutely glorious. One of the other tools that people use is Jekyll. Jekyll works really well. Jekyll and Hugo are, in my opinion, they're the two best ones that I've found. And if anyone else has found ones that work great, feel free to chime in. There are other ones out there. But Jekyll and Hugo are really nice. Getting up to speed and started, I found a little easier with Hugo, but honestly, Jekyll wasn't hard. It was a very simple process of getting set up with Jekyll. Getting Jekyll running took all of like 4 minutes. It really wasn't a big deal. And then you take basically little site templates, little themes, and write individual documents for each page or each blog post, etc. And you just run it. You say, "Hey Jekyll, point at this folder structure and spit out my site," and you're good to go. I liked Hugo. I do recommend Hugo. It's fantastic. And honestly, if I had a web page that I was updating regularly as like a blog, I would use one of these static site generators again. I'd probably use Hugo. It's fantastic. I don't see any problem with it. It's not as convenient as having a dedicated content management system like WordPress or Drupal or something if you've got a lot of people adding content to your site. It's a little bit more of a pain because while you can take all of those, the static site files and everything and put them into like a Git repository or a Nextcloud drive or something like that, you always run the risk of someone else working on it at the same time and overwriting some of your changes when they upload theirs, and you have to coordinate a little better. And the more people you have working on a site, the more difficult static site generators become. Now, if you've just got one webmaster or one or two people just working on the site, then those static site generators actually start to be kind of reasonable. It's easy to go in and change the theme. You change the theme in one spot, rerun the static site generator like Hugo or Jekyll, and it spits out the new website for you. You just re-upload and you're good to go. It's not as easy also if you're on the road and say on your phone or your tablet or your laptop from a convention or something like that, and you want to update your site. you have to make sure you've got all of your tools on whatever device you have, which is a little bit more of a pain, but honestly not hard to set up. I've gotten Hugo set up on under Termux on an Android device, which is Termux is like a little Linux shell environment for Android phones. You don't need to be rooted or anything for it. Recommended. It was a little bit of a pain to set up, but it did work pretty well. And so you could, from your phone even, do a static site generation and then upload over SFTP or whatever up to your site. And it works so well. And the speed difference is huge. Now, of course, if you create a theme that with the static site generator that uses a ton of JavaScript and ads and whatnot, it's going to slow your website down. And then at that point, you might as well be running a big old content management system with a big Herkin database somewhere. But I like the static site generators. I like it a lot. It's especially good if you anticipate big spikes in traffic. Like if you've got a blog or something like that where, you know, you get decent traffic here and there, but every now and then you just get like slash dotted, which, by the way, when was the last time anyone got actually slash dotted? I just would like to point out that I don't think slash dot pushes the amount of traffic that they used to, because I get posted on slash dot, I don't know, at least every couple of weeks, and make it to the front page of slash dot, very top thing. And I never have a problem. I don't think anyone does anymore. I think you have to kind of be running like your web server on like a 486 running Microsoft IIS in order for Slashdot to take your server down at this point in time. And I just really harshed on Slashdot. Ow, I'm sorry, Slashdot. You did not deserve that. But I just don't think, I think a lot of people get their news from other sources. Anyway. Yes, static site generators are wicked awesome, Eugenio. Hugo, Jekyll would be my recommendations of what to check out, but there's a lot of other great ones too. And this episode of The Lunduke Show is brought to you in part by Purism, who make amazing hardware powered by free software. You want a laptop? Yeah, you do. You want it powered by free software? You do that even more. You go over to Purism's website, puri.sm. Free software foundation approved distro right on there with hardware kill switches for like the webcam. You don't want the webcam on? Flick. Not I covered it up with some tape, but not I turned it off in software. Hardware kill switches, son. Purism's website, puri.sm. And of course, you go over to lunduke.com, you get all the things. Wait, don't even look at the URLs. You don't need the URLs. You've seen the URLs, you love the URLs. Go to the things and do the downloading. What am I talking about? Not really sure. I'll see you guys later.